Each of these is a separate drawing, but because we have persistence of vision, it actually seems to move. When you watch the animation, you're just looking at a lot of drawings passing by very fast.
My eye is not registering one frame at a time. It's being projected so fast that my eye is still picking up the last frame as this other frame is happening. So I'm seeing an illusion. In the old days, people would go into these like little arcades, and there would be these zoetrope, and there would just be these big circular round drums with little holes cut out. And one would look through the hole and spin the drum, and because of persistence of vision, you would see a little man walking or somebody doing a very simple act. Kind of started to evolve into its own art in a way. It's the early form of animation, and this was even before celluloid was able to create it and run through a projector. And so in a way, animation, the art form of animation, has been around a lot longer. And Emile Cohl was doing these very simple chalk-like drawings of acting, and that was being filmed in the traditional frame-by-frame manner on film, and that becomes like the birth of this art form. Let me explain to you how traditional animation is shot. The artwork rests on a table here. The camera is looking down. There's two lights here. We click one frame, click. We then put another drawing of the character somewhere else, and we click another frame, click. So when we project it later, the little character runs across the frame or kicks the ball or does whatever we need to.
It's different from live filmmaking, where we have a camera and the camera records things from life. So we're doing kind of the inverse. We're creating life from nothing, and it's all just magic, and it's an illusion.
The analogy with magic is Winsor McCay used to go around, and when he did Gertie the Dinosaur, he would almost pass it off as a show. You know, he wore a tuxedo and he was like, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I went to this and I found a dinosaur and I trained it to do that. So there was this whole kind of showman type of circus atmosphere to the early animation. Winsor McCay specifically is one of the fathers and inventors of animation. Gertrude the Dinosaur becomes one of the first of the animated cartoons. People must have said, you know, this is, you know, what is this? Is this magic? What is this? Because, you know, no one had ever seen a dinosaur walk onto a stage. There was always a popularity to it, but it was looked at as a gimmick. You know, it was looked at as something that you couldn't, yeah, it's fun to look at, but where do we go from here? In the late 1920s, Disney comes, but now he brings to it a new sense of character that hadn't been there. Because suddenly we have a connection to a Mickey Mouse that we didn't have to just this dinosaur. Well, while visually very interesting, it doesn't have the emotional connection with the character that Disney starts to bring in when he creates the Mickey Mouse cartoon, where you start looking at it and you go, well, that looks like he's thinking. That was the contribution that company made.